I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Hot enough for you out there? God, what a summer. Well, I guess if you're in New Zealand, it's not all that hot. But we're going to heat things up here on East-West Audio Body Shop this week because our guest is going to be the voice of CBS Sports, Jim Tasker. He'll be joining us in studio, and we'll talk about what being a network announcer is all about and how he balances his family life with being a big-time network announcer.
Oh boy, does he have a family. And he lives right down the road from me, so it's going to be easy for him to bop over and be in the studio. That's going to be a lot of fun. Studio Bricks. There's a company in Spain making prefabricated studios like Whisper Room or Vocal Booth, but they have a totally different twist on it, and they look fantastic.
And in my tip of the week, we're going to do something I'm sure will upset somebody, but we're going to talk about the difference between expensive and moderate equipment. So make sure you listen to that one.
We've also got video clips, we've got audio clips, we've got questions that have come in. So I'll be sharing you things that have popped up this week, as well as the latest in tech news.
And our letter of the week.
Coming up next on East-West Audio Body Shop.
He's the voiceover studio engineer of the Stars in Los Angeles, California, a Virginia Tech grad with a knowledge of recording studios unmatched in his field. He's a voice actor from Buffalo, New York, with 30 years experience in recording studios and behind the mic. He solves people's home voiceover studio problems in the blink of an eye. Together, there's no studio problem they can't solve, and they'll do it for you tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop. Now, live from a basement in Buffalo and an office in L.A., here are Dan Leonard and George Whittam.
Good evening, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. I'm going to get ahead of you there. Okay, how is everybody tonight? Boy, we have a humongous crowd here already. You guys are nuts. Did anybody bring wings or anything like that?
Hot wings?
Hot wings or and everybody calls them buffalo wings. Here in Buffalo, we call them chicken wings because that's what they are.
You guys don't call them buffalo wings?
No, we don't call them. Only people at Pizza Hut call them that.
And there's somebody else like hanging out with us tonight. He's lurking.
Lurking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somewhere in the background there. Oh,
there he is.
I'm listening in. That's all.
Jim
I'm
Tasker.
eavesdropping.
Yeah, he just decided to show up. So
Yeah.
Guys are having a poker game tonight or something, and
I actually asked him to wait out in the green room.
the green room. You mean the laundry room?
Yeah. I brought over my laundry. You're absolutely right. Yes.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
My
pleasure.
Jim lives, 1.8 miles away?
1.8 miles. I measured it. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Could have actually walked.
Mm-hmm.
I could have. You're
right.
right. I would have been really late, but I could have walked.
All righty. Well, sure looked like it was a beautiful day in Santa Monica today, according to the pictures you had.
Yeah, it was gorgeous today. Absolutely gorgeous. Jellyfish, quite a few jellyfish for Santa Monica anyway. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the East Coast. That was common occurrence. I stayed out of the ocean after like July. I mean, There was millions of them. But here, it's kind of odd. But it didn't keep people from swimming. I was out there splashing around the jellyfish. It didn't seem to bother me.
Yeah. Well, they're West Coast jellyfish. They're all wearing, sunglasses.
They're more laid back. They're kind of like, should I sting that dude? No. That's like a pain.
Yeah.
Jim is a real honest to God local though.
It's true, man. I grew up here. So I've done a lot of surfing. Yes. I grew up surfing Southern California.
Oh, I'm wearing my surfing shirt tonight.
I saw that. I was going to comment on that.
Yeah. No. Now, is Pat in the chat room yet? No. Now, our friend Pat Sweeney supposedly is in Maui right now.
Nice.
I guess they got a condo there or something, and he's been there for a couple of weeks.
Good
and he says,
sounds tough.
What size Hawaiian shirt do you wear? And I'm like, why? Sends me this overnights it from Maui.
Oh, that's great.
Because I think he really wanted me to have it for the show this week. So
that's great.
Pat, this is for you. And it's a nice shirt, too.
That's a good dude.
Well done.
Made in Hawaii. So anyway, you can't see the surfboards and all. You can see the tops of the palm trees and stuff.
Right, yeah.
There we go. But It will suffice for now.
Well, thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Thank you very much.
I know guys don't wear those around here because I went to a huge smashing. There was a huge party down the street. There was like this guy has Jeff Fest.
Jeff Fest.
Yeah, it's it's apparently the biggest, best private party in Santa Monica.
Ooh, nice.
And I showed up wearing a shirt not too much different from his, and I was the only dude there wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Surfer dudes usually don't wear shirts like that, but
totally.
Tourists, no.
You'll wear a Hawaiian shirt to a party, but do you wear the shirt I gave you?
No. Heck no. My wife won't let me.
I would sport one of your East West Coast body shop shirts. I would sport one of those. I would sport it at a party too.
All right.
I would sport the hat too. I like the hat.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Not the light blue, not the pink, but I'd probably do the white. And Jim, you don't have a black one though, do you?
Jim, don't you realize that we give you swag for being on the show?
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You're making your order right now.
Yeah, see, this is what I was hoping, and that's why I brought it up. Okay. Go on. Sorry.
It's desirable stuff.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I mean, it's great having a big star like Jim Tasker with us tonight. But we've got lots of stuff on this schedule here. George, you want to talk about some new portable studio stuff? I've got my tip of the week. We've got the letter of the week. We have to talk about the correspondent contest. We got all these people in the chat room, like Paulster Critter, whose birthday it is today. Everybody, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. Oh, we have to pay copyright on that. Forget it.
That's right.
YouTube will take us off the off of.
Oh no! I already go. Here's something from BMI already. Jeez.
Gosh, they are hardcore. Jeez. I mean, YouTube is really hardcore. Once they figured out they could actually make money licensing for bands, that's when they really cranked up the sending out the notices about using copyrighted material, which we get a notice every single show actually.
It's probably because of the stuff I do, but
all the music we're using, as far as you're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, is royalty free, right? I thought it was. Yeah,
I thought it was.
Well, whatever. It's ridiculous.
It's not like we're making money with this stuff. So
tell me about it. The only company making money is Google. They're the only ones making money.
Yeah, and Ustream. But they do a wonderful job. Wonderful company.
For a reason. Yes. The service is awesome. Really is good. Really is good. Anyway, what were we going to do today?
Well, we were going to talk about home studios or something.
Right.
We seem to talk about that every week, so why not do it for another week?
Okay.
Now, you've got something going on here, because our birthday boy brought it up the other day about, it's called Studio Bricks.
Oh, right.
Let's discuss.
Yeah, this new product, well, I don't know if it's new, but it's new on our radar. Let's put it that way. It's new in the American radar, I think, because this is a product that's based out of Spain, I believe. Well, at least I think that's where the manufacturer is located, Spain. And
I'm looking at everything you're doing here. This is great.
He's into it.
This is great.
Seeing how the sausage is made.
Yeah, this is harder than you think, folks. He's doing a lot of stuff over here.
Multitasking galore.
Watching the Hydra.
I'm realizing I don't have a single shot of me. It's all about me, man. I don't have a shot of just me.
That's all right.
Oh,
I'll lip sync.
Anyway, Studio Bricks. Paul found this company. I believe he was the first one to bring it to my attention on Facebook this week. And it is a modular studio system that is that you assemble on site. They ship you the pieces and you assemble it. Sort of a la Whisper Room and vocalbooth.com. But the quality of this thing looks like it's on par with like acousticsystems.com. I don't know if you guys have heard of that booth, but actually I don't even know if it's .com. I'm just so used to saying .com. Here, I'm going to put it up on the camera here and switch over so you guys can really see what we're talking about. But StudioBricks.com booths look like they're built at a very high degree of precision and care. And from an aesthetic standpoint, they definitely kick the butts of anything I've seen, this side of, well, I don't think I've ever seen it looks this good, actually. These things are really attractive looking. But they're totally made, they're precision made by using CNC machines, which is a computer controlled what's that stand for? CNC, computer numeric control, I think. Cutting machines. So they're made in a factory. And anyway, who cares how they're made? These things apparently perform really well. I was looking at the specs, and even their standard model, because they seem to have two models, standard and triple layer or something, the standard model seems to outperform the Whisper Room and the vocalbooth.com until you get into the really highest levels of both of those products, which gets really expensive. I mean, you can easily spend for a 4x6 Whisper Room, a double wall booth, with a window in it, good actual quiet ventilation, the whole thing. You're pushing $8 to $10,000 really fast. And this thing, we did get some pricing. Paul was nice enough to kind of badger the company for a while now. They seem to have pretty good support, especially when you're an American, I think, because they're really trying to get some exposure in the U.S. market. And so Paul had sent over some information, and if I can actually find that email, which I have conveniently placed in my inbox right where I can find it, which I cannot find right now. Brilliant. Hey, Paul, if you're in the chat room, do you remember the price that they quoted? Yeah, only
like somewhere between 3 and 5, as I recall.
Chris Tom said $500 plus 5,000 shipping. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
you think the shipping would kill it for this product, right? Like that would be the deal breaker. But what I've seen when it comes to shipping stuff overseas, it's the larger and bulkier the item, the better the deal you get. It's shooting small individual packages that gets really expensive. When you're shooting larger products in a bigger crate, the price actually seems to go down. And I believe they said that a small booth, maybe like a 3x5 or something, shipping was going to be about $600 to $800, which is actually totally on par with what Whisper Room would cost. So,
and if it's better, then who cares?
Yeah, I mean, this thing, it looks freaking amazing. Check this out. This is a assembly video, and I won't show you the whole thing because I don't want it to go full screen because then that really screws it up. I can either watch it in a teeny window or full screen. All right, let's do full screen.
All right,
let's go nuts here. This is an assembly video. You know what? Here's what I'll do. This is a video showing the assembly of the booth in real time, and they do it in about 7 minutes.
There we go.
So. Is it playing now?
It is. Well, or these guys are just moving really slow.
There it goes.
Okay.
There we go. So anyway, I'll jump through, but here's obviously they've unpacked it. If it's anything like the Whisper Room, it takes longer to unpack the dang thing than it does to actually build it, because it comes in hundreds of small boxes.
Does it come with the Spaniards to come in and assemble it for you?
Exactly. These are obviously 3 guys who have built these before, and they slap it together really quick. But there's no tools involved at all. Absolutely no. I didn't see him pull out a mallet or a drill or anything. This thing just locks together. And I'll jump forward through the video a little bit. The door is probably one of the hardest parts because it's probably really heavy. And it just latches in.
Wow.
Everything just kind of latches in when you watch this video with sound, I'll put it in the show notes. You can hear when the pieces come together.
This guy's really good at watching them do this too. The guy in the blue.
Yeah, right. This is really a two-person job probably to put this together. And then the pieces just sort of snap together like grown-up Legos, as somebody mentioned recently. Here comes the window.
If you should need a window.
If you're in that thing if you're doing book narration, you better believe you want a window in that thing. You're going to start feeling you're in one of those sensory deprivation tanks after a while. Anyway, I'll jump through. But anyway, it comes together pretty fast. This is a 7-minute video, like I said. And there you have it. The thing is pretty cool. Now, of course, that looks like it's got custom paint. I'm sure you pay a pretty penny to have like a custom color paint like that, but
this must be the ceiling.
Yeah. Oh, there's the sirens. I was promising you. Let's crank it up here. Almost pegging the meter with that. Anyway, Santa Monica on a Sunday. Actually, Santa Monica, period. There's always a fire truck. There's a lot of emergencies around here. I think it's because I think it's the tourists. I'm going to blame it on this friggin' tourist.
There you go.
Anyway, So there you go. That's the Studio Brick Studio. I think it's pretty darn impressive for its for something that's prefabricated. I've never seen anything quite like it before. And if they can get that thing over here to the States at a reasonable cost, and I think it's going to be a real major competition for the likes of Whisper Room and Vocal Booth. So, and Gretsch Can out there. So look out, you guys.
Yeah, really. Well, it's fascinating that you should bring that up this week.
Yeah,
because the missus and I were like, we want to change things down here in the basement, and one of the things I want to change is me getting out of the basement. It's cold down here in the summer. I mean, I'm getting frostbite. It's like 85, 90 degrees out there. So my wife has the old, nursery upstairs. Has a nice big closet in it. And she's like, I don't really need the office right now. And this one has a great, walk-in closet about the same size as that thing. And the exterior wall is brick.
Oh, really?
So it's very, very quiet in there. I don't have the kitchen above me. I have the kitchen below me. So I don't have somebody walking in clogs above me. So I think we're going to change the plans and I'm going to move upstairs.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'll be different. I'll be, I can see trees and birds and things like that, as opposed to the occasional mouse that runs by in here. But that'll be different. But that looks like a really interesting unit. If it's the right price, it's certainly, Jim.
Huh?
What, Jim?
Were we talking about surfing shirts?
Yes, we were.
Last time I checked.
What happened?
Are you saying this is boring? You could say that again.
No.
People are...
I'm just playing with you. Go ahead.
Thanks for the comic relief we need.
Yes.
No,
actually we don't. But
we screw up enough on our own.
That's true. But that looks like a really interesting unit. And if the price is right, then it's probably something worth looking at.
We'll give you guys more details in the show notes, I promise, because there's more details that need to be conveyed. But this thing not only is properly built from a soundproofing standpoint, but acoustically inside, it looks like it's very well attuned acoustically as well. Yeah. Like they're just specifically thinking of voiceover in mind with one of the models that they're building, where a lot of the other ones aren't really designed that way. Or they just do wall-to-wall foam. And, it works, but there's certainly better ways to do it.
Right. I think they should send us one so we can test it.
I believe they should.
I believe so.
And I believe I'll be sending... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if Ramesh is listening in the Canary Islands, which is part of Spain, well, he can get this and he'll tell the people in Spain to send it to us.
There's the connection. That's the connection. That's what's going to get it. That's what's going to get one of those things shipped out here.
Absolutely.
Question is, which one of us gets the booth?
Which one of us actually needs it?
Aha, touche. Actually, no, I need it. I need it worse than you.
Yeah, you got a closet.
I have a daughter who's coming, getting into voiceover. No,
yes.
Maybe.
Well, she doesn't have to work hard at it. Her voice is over everything over there.
We were at the beach on the way home. We got stuck. We were supposed to be here a while earlier, and we got stuck because this family accosted Ella and wanted her to perform for them. And Ella was like,
what?
Ella was like, okay, now let me do now let me do Eensy Weensy Spider. And she stood there and sang Eensy Weensy Spider for these folks on the beach, and they were delighted. And they were
give her no money or anything?
No.
A natural performer.
It was bizarre. It was really bizarre. The whole story is that they saw her there a few weeks ago, and this time these two girls had their mom along. And the girl came over to me and says, "Can I show her to my mom?" And I can't remember who this girl is. And I'm like, well, people think she's cute all the time, so let's just see what happens. And she picks up Ella and carries her across the beach to her mom and her sister are sitting on a blanket. And I clean up and get all my stuff packed, walk over there, and there she is, singing and dancing for these ladies for their pleasure. It's like I didn't know how to feel about it. I thought part of me was like, this is so cute, and part of me is like, this is really exploitive. It was like, I don't know. We'll see.
You just need to bring a big hat with you next time and just throw it in front of her, and you'll pay your rent for the month.
There you go.
That's right.
All right.
That's what anyway. Good idea.
All right, we got lots more coming up here on East West Audio Body Shop. We talked about the booth. Oh, we got tip of the week coming up.
Yep.
We have some guest who's going to show up eventually. And we've got your letters. We've got all sorts of great stuff. So you stay tuned. We'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now back to two characters that didn't have anything else better to do, Dan and George.
Indeed. Well,
make that three characters.
Apparently.
Yeah, tonight, three characters. Well, we talk about the swag that we have. We got great stuff over at the East West Audio Body Shop. And we want you guys to go shop at the East West Audio Body Shop.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've got, T-shirts, coffee mugs, the vaunted coffee mugs. Everybody wants a coffee mug, whether it's the travel mug or the wonderful ceramic one.
Mm-hmm.
We've got T-shirts. We have tank tops. We have PC and laptop and mouse pad. We got covers
That's
for them.
Why
we
I'm
got
here.
mouse pad. That's what. And what will Jim choose as his swag when he departs with his lovely parting gifts this week?
Well, today I think I'll be going with the
women's fitted
spaghetti straps there.
Spaghetti straps.
I would look great in that. You laugh, but I think I would look great in that.
Especially the sunburn that it leaves behind, the tan lines.
Right.
When that thing's on the floor in your room at night.
That's right. Actually, I think the hat. I like the white hat, man.
Well,
do you have one in stock, or
you got it? Yeah, okay. I've got one that's not white anymore,
and a coffee mug because I do that.
I've got a hat, but it's not really white anymore.
Oh, okay. Why has it been outside or something?
It's been worn by me.
It's been in the garage
many times.
Okay. It's one you wore in the ocean for last summer, right?
Yeah,
and you came
exactly.
back and you never washed it.
Yeah. Or a really nice sweatshirt, which of course comes in very handy back here in the Northeast during the winter months.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
For our Canadian folk.
It's true, eh?
Hey, take off, hoser.
Okay. So
there
anyway.
It is.
There's the East West. Oh, so where is the email, not the email address, the actual website for this?
It is at shop.ewabs.com. And it is also linked from the top of our website, ewabs.com.
Outstanding.
So enjoy.
All righty. Well, we're now back. There we are. Thank you.
Real.
And we're for actual real. All right. It's time for my tip of the week. And I will preface this by saying it's amazing what you can do with an iPhone. We'll just start with that. Anyway, it's time for tip of the week. Oh, better than just pictures. You'll see. Anyway, we'll be back to discuss in a minute. Here's our tip of the week. You know, one thing about buying a voiceover microphone these days, it's a little bit like going through the checkout line, trying to pick out what gum you want.
But here's the thing. What's the difference between all the gum and mints? And really, what's the difference between expensive stuff and cheap stuff? How good is good? And what do you require in your home studio? First off, we know that most of this stuff was designed for recording music. Miking and mixing music and the need to understand the relationships between various sound sources and the right mic to capture it is an art unto itself. It takes years to master. Little of that has anything to do with dry voice in a home studio. Second, what really is the difference between the expensive stuff and the more moderate-priced mics? Couple of things. The more expensive stuff is more durable over the long haul. While it's more sensitive and sometimes delicate, if you take good care of it, it will last literally forever. The real difference between a Neumann and, say, a Samson C01U or an AT2020 is sensitivity. A $2,000 U87 or a $20,000 Telefunken can hear breathing in another county. That's great if you can keep out the sound of everything except your voice, what I call an acoustically sterile environment. That costs more money, lots more. So, in essence, if you buy a Ferrari, you better have a nice garage for it, too. More expensive mics have amazingly low self-noise. It only sends out your voice and the sound of your mustache hairs rubbing against each other. So, moderately priced mics are not as sensitive. But that difference in sensitivity is measured by sophisticated instruments that measure things to tolerances that you can't even hear. Your home studio, while nice and comfy, is literally impossible to completely soundproof. You don't need the sensitivity of a megabuck mic to pick up the sound of your cat scratching his post 2 floors away. But with proper mic technique, everything you say gets picked up nice and clear by a mic that's 1/10 the price. And you can have a field day shopping for one of those. You can look at frequency response charts to see how a studio condenser mic of any price compares to another. You can base your choice on that compared to your voice type, but that's a little bit more complicated and a discussion for another time. I've talked with lots of manufacturers and retailers, and most of them agree that for every $500 you go up in price, you're probably only looking at maybe 1% improvement in quality. So the bottom line is that you don't have to break the bank to sound good. The thing to invest in is your skill in breaking down a script, mastering good voice acting technique, and finding where your vocal strengths are. In other words, don't put the cart before the horse. Having a great mic doesn't get you work. Work gets you a good microphone and the capital to invest in housing for it. And that's my tip of the week.
Very good.
Lovely.
Tip.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I speaketh the truth.
It's true. Very true.
I know with what I speak. Now, if you're a really wealthy guy and you've been making megabucks for a long time and you live in California and you have to make a lot of money to live in California, you can afford to have a really nice place to have a really nice mic. It's as simple as that. You can't use an expensive microphone in your bathroom.
Right.
Right.
You know, maybe in your closet. But that's why a lot of you guys use the 416s and stuff like that. Cut out some of that side noise. But
I use a 416 mostly. I also have a Manley, and I do have a U87 as well. Just because I feel I sound different for different reads,
right?
Different
Exactly.
things. But I mainly stick with the 416 for promos and stuff. Yeah.
Right. That's the standard microphone for doing that stuff these days. But the point being that I think there's if you go into the forums, which I should not do on Sunday morning before I have my coffee, because I've been getting pretty crabby, and if anybody's been watching some of the stuff I've been writing on Sunday morning, you'll know what I'm talking about. The stuff that people suggest, it's like, well, what microphone should I have? Well, you need a Manley reference microphone. Oh, well, you must have a $10,000 studio then. No, I'm in my bedroom. Well, maybe that's not such a good idea.
Right.
But that was the point of that. But it was also the point to show you that you can be very creative with an iPhone and a very quiet Wegmans on a Sunday morning here in Western New York.
That place sounded like a bowling alley.
I know. You believe the noise that was in that place?
That's pretty
ringing.
loud.
There's all this.
Yeah.
It was nuts, and I didn't really notice it until I'm like, I came home and I'm like, listen to that.
Exactly.
What is going on in there? I don't remember that. It just shows how much your brain tunes out.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, and we always talk about that with home studios. It's like, what's that humming noise that you're hearing that I don't? Well, because you don't hear it, because you always don't hear it, because your brain tuned it out.
Not too different from the way your house smells when you come back from vacation. You ever notice? Like,
Well,
you come
I don't know
back
about
after-
your house, but
No, you come
Anyway,
back,
moving on.
you come back after a couple from a couple of weeks, and you're like, "Wow, this place stinks."
It's okay, George. Sorry.
yeah.
It smells fine now. Don't worry.
Okay, that happens to me, but maybe not everybody else. But no, you just you notice the smell after you've been gone a while, and it's just like sound. You don't notice it until you've been removed from it for a while.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about that too. Also, when I was coming up in the ranks of voiceover when I first started, I used to read scratch tracks, of course, and all the guys who I'd work with would like throw stuff at me. They do funny faces in front of me just to try to like break my character, you know. And it's really cool though, because like they thought it was funny that I would never stop, you know, my character. I would just stay in the zone. So it's true. I would just completely tune them out. They kept doing these funny things, and I'd just be like, as soon as I was done, I would look and go, "You're a jerk."
Just another way Jim is proving how much of a pro he is, because he can work right through all that garbage, you know.
Well, yeah, it all leads up to, you know, being a professional, I guess, right? Yeah, where you started.
It
yes.
helps.
Yeah. So you have any thoughts on that, George?
You
do it. You agree with me?
I do.
Okay.
My thought really comes down to
What's that flashing?
What's that flashing?
What?
I'm just kidding. No, really, George is doing like amazing things over here. You guys probably can't see this at home, but he's like, you know, over here, over there. I mean, he's actually shuffling papers over here. You can probably get
one of the shows. I promise I'll take the second camera that I'm using for me right now, and I'll do like the kitchen cam. You know, the cooking show cam, and I'll shoot it down, and you can see what I'm doing during the show. That might be fun.
Yeah,
for some
that would be
people,
cool.
For a few select weirdos.
It is a different, a different view of things.
Exactly. But yeah, absolutely. I feel like the problem that we're having is people are getting stuck in the mystique of these high-end mics from the likes of Neumann and things like that. And the thing is you might hear that. A lot of you have noises like a jet airplane.
I hear it.
Vehicles of all sorts in the background, and running water, air conditioning system, or just the heater. Sometimes just the refrigerator vibrating. Most home studios have a mix of all that junk in it, and your noise floors might, if you're really lucky, your noise floor might be as low as about minus 60 dB. And occasionally somebody will send me a file that's like that low, that has that low a noise floor, and I go, "Wow, that's pretty good." You know, and rarely are they actually in LA. You know, it's usually they're out in the country. But the point being is that these really high-end mics, they're sensitive, and they also have extremely low self-noise. And the thing is like that, the advantage of those two features can only be noticed in a really quiet studio. Like the likes of like Buzzies, you know, or Buzzies here in LA, or Hollywood is like a really well-known voiceover studio that, or the owner, Andy, goes to the ends of the earth to have the quietest and best sounding, you know, recording studios possible.
You can hear a pin drop.
Actually, I did. I just heard it.
I heard that.
Not
Wow.
bad.
Thank you.
But yeah, that's where that gear really.
Was that a pin?
It was a pin.
I heard a pin.
Yeah, I heard it too. A really good studio, you can hear a pin drop. You can hear the smallest detail, and that's where the mic is really important. The higher end mics. So the moral of the story is Dan was right.
Of course. And we'll leave it at that. Anyway, we're going to talk with Jim Tasker here in just a couple of minutes, and we've got more stuff coming up. And of course, if you have a question for Jim, feel free to type it in the chat room, and we'll probably have time to ask him that, because again, we're not on network time. We'll go off when we feel like it, right?
Mm-hmm. Or when the wife starts beating hard enough on the door.
Ooh, but don't remind me. Okay, anyway, we'll be right back with Jim Tasker and lots more here on East West Audio Body Shop, so you stay right where you are right now.
El Dorado Recording Services.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
This is Alex Verdi.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his health.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish
I've got my travel kit, I got my Source Connect, I've got it all going on, thanks to you.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Two guys I love spending Sunday nights with.
Ooh, can you give me a minute? You guys give me a minute? Hold on a second. Put that voice back on. That was good.
Welcome back.
That's Elizabeth. She's awesome.
I love it. That's great.
She's great. And getting better all the time. We have new liners coming up.
Yes,
soon,
we do. We do.
So we hope.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote some really good ones, so I can't wait to hear them, how they're delivered. We got to have you do a couple while you're there too, Jim. It's
sure.
It will make it real exciting.
Yeah,
because that's what you do.
That's right.
For those of you who, as is usually the case in a lot of the voiceover world, you hear a lot of voices there on, doing the network stuff, but you never hear their names, you never see their face. That's what we do here on East West Audio Body Shop. We shove their faces in front of a camera and tell you what their names are. Jim Tasker, voice of CBS Sports. Welcome to East West Audio Body Shop.
So happy to be here.
Officially.
Yes.
Jim, this is one freaking nice looking website.
Yeah?
This is one of the best looking voiceover websites I've seen in a long time.
Well, thank you.
You guys go to jimtasker.com.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do we have a couple of examples of his work, George, that we could?
If I was to play one good reel, what would it be? What do you think?
What are the hot spots there? Those are some of the newer ones, I guess.
Oh, these are the hot spots? Resident Evil. Oh, Men in Black 3.
Sure,
let's do that.
Oh, got to hear that.
So I can get the audio. Hang on a second here. We're going to start it over because I had a loop back. There we go.
Have everyone's attention, please. You know your kid won the goldfish and you flush it down the toilet? This what happens. You're gonna send me back to 1969.
On May 25th.
Yeah, these in the future?
That's what I'm talking about. The Men in Black are back.
You come from the planet Yuck.
In time.
That's a big fall. Don't put that up to your head.
Men in Black 3 in 3D. Rated PG-13.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And we need one. We need one sports thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we need something from CBS.
Okay, go to
vocal style.
Video.
Oh, video.
Video showcase and go to promos.
This is an example of our show prep.
Promos.
Well, he threw all the stuff on Facebook. Weren't you looking?
Jim, I know. No, I wasn't.
Which one do you want? Okay, actually scroll to the next screen, please.
Jeez, he's got so many folks. We have to scroll to the next.
Sorry about
screen.
that. Maybe the upper right one there.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
See what that one does.
CBS Sports, tradition, champions, and the pulsating world of the CBS Sports family. CBSSports.com, where fans live the game. And introducing CBS Sports Network, coming April 4th.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
Cool.
There you have it, folks. Whoops, I moved the wrong window.
So now it's time for the standard first question of our guest here on East West Audio Body Shop. Jim, how did you get your start in doing voiceover?
How did I get my start? Well, how far back do you want to go exactly? I mean, do you want the long version or the short version?
High school. There's always something in high school.
Everybody started in high school.
There's always something that happened in high school.
Yeah, in high school. Okay, so when I was a child, I used to always like to do cartoon voices and mimic people, and as a lot of kids do. And my parents, I owe a lot to them, obviously, everything to them, because I wouldn't be here without them, right? My dad has a very masculine voice. My mom was a singer in the choir, so I've got those two things going for me. Anyway, so when I got into high school, I went into drama. I loved the drama classes. I did plays. I went to community college in Santa Monica and started studying acting, voice for stage, public speaking, broadcasting. And at that point, my mom said, "Why don't you do real estate?" And I thought about it, and I was like, and I started taking some real estate courses and the stuff that would help me in that direction. And I just found that is definitely not the way I wanted to go, as far as a job. I said, what really makes me happy is doing the broadcasting stuff. So let's see where that takes me. I got a job at Sports Channel in Los Angeles. I think this was back in early 90s. And one of the promo producers at the time was not able to show up, so they asked me to go and do the radio promo spot for a Dodgers game. And as soon as I stepped foot in there, I was like, "Oh my goodness, people actually do this for a living? This is great." So I did the spot, and I heard it back, and I was like, "Wow, I could make this a career? Really? This is really the coolest thing, man. People do this." And it was funny because the guy that always did it, I forgot his name, but he always would come in with like his shorts and a t-shirt. And I was like, okay, well, that's a job I want, right? So that's where the trouble all began. Now, if I'm going too long, just let me know, okay? And I'll stop.
Not at all.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. So it was a little tough at first because I didn't realize, how to get into it, because that's a real problem is trying to get your foot in the door. And it didn't help that one of my coworkers at the time said that, you know what, there's only like 3 or 4 people that do movie trailer voices. So if you don't even try, it's not even worth it, because you're never going to get there.
Yeah, you're discouraged right from the start on that one.
Oh, but as soon as I heard that, the funny thing is, George, as soon as I heard that, I was like, I'm going to do it.
That's really? Yep.
And I got to tell you, Dan, it was the most eye-opening thing ever. Like I did my thing. Somebody said, "You can't do it," and I said, "I'm going to find a way how." So I took voice classes. I took voice acting classes. I studied with Maurice Tobias, Kalmanson and Kalmanson, several others. I can't remember right now, but
what were you doing at the time? I mean, what was your day job while you were doing all this?
I was working my way through college. I worked at Sports Channel Los Angeles, like I said, answering phones. And I also worked at the YMCA, local YMCA. I also, what else did I do? I waited tables. I tended bar. I did anything to make money, right?
And this is all here in Southern California?
Yeah, all here. Mm-hmm. And so from that point, that's when the trouble all began because I didn't know how to get my foot in the door. So I was living in Venice Beach at the time, I remember, and I had lost my job. What was I? I think I was. Oh, what it was? I was tending bar, and I had lost my job. That the company had gone under. Strange reason. I don't know why, but probably because I was tending bar. But anyway, I did this, and went home, and I said, "Well, what am I going to do next? Because I don't, everybody thinks that I should get another job, just waiting tables or doing some odd job." And I said, "You know what? I feel like my heart is in this voiceover, and I have to find a way to do it, So I'll tell you, this it was really tough because it took me just over a year of not working and owing 6 months back rent in Venice Beach.
That'll do it.
Oh,
yeah. And fortunately, my, God bless him, my landlord was like, I know that you're going to pay me back. I was living in this really small back house. My rent wasn't very much at all, but
he had faith in you.
He had faith, and he's like, I know you'll pay me back, but came 8 months. He was like, Jim, you really have to get a job, buddy.
Yeah.
So what happened was I said, okay. I went down to the beach. I sat right down here on the beach, about a mile away, right on Rose. Probably not even a mile from here, is it?
No, half a mile.
Yeah. I sat there during the sunset. Beautiful sunset. I remember it like it's yesterday. And I just sat there and I was praying and I'm like, listen, if this is not the right direction for me, then I need a sign. I just need any sign because nothing seems to be working.
And there it was.
Dan, George, I kid you not, the next day I had a call from a friend of mine to work in a post-production facility. That post-production facility got me doing scratch tracks, and that catapulted me where I am today.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
I had to ask which way to go. That's all I did. I asked which way to go, which way to turn. Wow. Now, of course, I had training, and I, obviously in that job, I was able to, train and work on voiceover work. So that helped also, to catapult myself to where I am.
Okay,
that's the long story.
It's the long story. Okay, so
where else are you going to hear that?
That's true. All right, so let's take the catapult here.
Boom.
And it's now 2012. How'd you end up over at CBS? I mean, that's a great gig.
Yes.
Because, heck, they're the #1 network.
Yes.
And in the fall, everybody's got to watch football, and everybody's got to watch basketball, and everybody's got to watch all the stuff that they got on CBS.
Yep.
And you're there. How did you end up in there?
That's a great question, Dan.
That's why I asked it.
Did you have that one written down? That's perfect.
No, I actually didn't.
You didn't? Well, that's good. No. Yeah, that's all in here.
Off the cuff.
It's ad-libbing. It's part of voiceover.
Yeah. The very first time, what happened was I had done my first 1 or 2 movie trailers, and CBS Sports was looking for somebody who had a dramatic read to do the introduction to the players for the NCAA championship. So my manager got a call and said, "Do you have someone who, does trailers?" And she said, "Well, yeah, we got a couple of guys." And they listened to my demo and they were like, "Let's try him." And that was me. And I did the read for them. And this is the cool part. My voice played in the stadium before the championship game.
Ooh.
Sean McManus was in the room, in the stadium, and he said, "Who's that voice?" And they told him, "It's Jim Tasker." And he said, "Get him."
Oh.
There you go.
There you go.
So it's been great. I love it. I love the people I work with. I do all the bumpers for the football games, the sponsored tags and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They switch around the people who do the promos, like for the games every so often. But generally, if you see an intro and stuff like that, it's always me. If you see the bumpers, it's always me.
Cool. Well, where the robot is jumping? No, that's Fox.
No.
That's Fox. Sorry. No, CBS is you just guys do the AFC games.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. See, being an AFC town, I should remember that.
That's right.
Did you ever have any? This is a loaded question, but any FaceTime mentorship with Don LaFontaine?
Yes, I did, and I know that you know this because I've told you before. Yes, when I was working in the post-production facility, it's called Toolbox. Don LaFontaine would come in his limo, and Clinton would be waiting outside, and Don would come in, and I told him right off the bat, I was like, I'm a room producer here, but I really want to do voiceovers. I put that right out in the open, and at that time, right when I said that, he was like. It was like he was my mentor. He was like, he would come in and go, this is what you should hit here because I know this is the graphic that's coming up, and you should read this a little softer than this one, hit this one hard and he would tell me all of this stuff, and it was the most amazing thing. And at the time I didn't realize like how great this was, that he was telling me this because to be honest with you, I had always heard his voice and I thought he had the most spectacular voice, but I didn't realize how nice he was, about sharing, his wealth of knowledge, and that's why, the voiceover lab, the, DLF voiceover lab,
voiceover lab,
yeah, is something dear to my heart because
he's a really big supporter.
Yeah. Because he helped me when I was starting, and I'll never forget him for that.
It's an amazing opportunity that I hear people, when we talk about Don, say, I had a chance to do that, and I didn't do it.
Yeah, the one thing I did not get to do was ride in his limo. He asked me, but I never had a chance to do that. I was working so many hours that I was not able to. But, God bless him, God rest his soul. He was a great man.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, doing the trailer type stuff that you do, because that's very distinctly what your niche is here. What is it? Everybody wants to break into this, and I remember someone asking Don about that, and he says, "Is there any opportunity for anybody else?" And he went, "Yes, when I die," which was highly ironic. But
so true.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what he said. And then, but what is it? What does it take to do that? I mean, obviously it's God-given talent to be able to do that. But everybody tries to do CBS Sports. What makes it, including you,
including some 14-year-olds.
Yeah, a lot of apparently
we've seen on TV lately,
and a couple of homeless guys. But but what is it? Is it a matter of just being in the right place at the right time, or is there a special pattern to it? I know we've talked to Gabby Nistico about it and other people. No one wants to seem to give a really straight answer on that.
Well, okay, I'll give you a straight answer. You have to prepare for your luck. Okay.
Okay. Good.
That's. I think that's what I'm going to say about that, because it's really you have to put yourself in the position of being able to be heard. And that was what I did, as I got myself into a post-production facility and I was able to be heard, so that was my way through the door. I know that unfortunately what happens, with voiceover, and I see it a lot, is that, people's lives get in the way, like you need to, pay the bills, obviously. So, you have to do this job, so you can't do that job. You know what I mean? So, at the time that I broke in, it was okay to do what I was doing, because I didn't have kids, I didn't have a mortgage. I was, what I mean? I was living hand to mouth, so, so doing what I had to do and, working in post-production is, that was, something that, got me through the door, and that, I would suggest, if you're just starting out, is to somehow scratch track for a post-production facility, or, at least, somehow befriend people who are in the business so that you can do their projects. Somehow get noticed. That's pretty much the bottom line.
Now, what other kind of stuff you do? I mean, we clearly hear you doing that kind of stuff, but are you doing commercials or industrial work? Or
yes, I do. I'm a voice of a bank in Chicago, BMO Harris. BMO Harris Commercial Bank. And I also do video games. I've been the voice of a god or two on video games.
Ooh.
Obviously I do the video game promos and stuff like that. And I do a commercial here and there, but the bulk of my work is promos and trailers, I would say. A lot of home video stuff. A lot of Disney, a lot of Warner Brothers, a lot of Sony stuff.
Yeah. So what's your average day like then?
My average day, let's see. I wake up, I kick the dog, I kiss the kids. Let's see.
It's not the other way around.
Right. No, it's not the other way around. I love my kids. I really do. They're beautiful.
They are. I've met them.
When they're paying attention. And they're not making noise in the background. No. No, I love them. And all right, so what was my word? Okay, so I wake up in the morning, Monday through Friday.
Good.
Monday through Friday, I say, I'm glad to be alive. And I stagger down to my booth and eat, and usually start out like around 9 or 9:30. And it might, I might have a few breaks throughout the day, but mostly I'm auditioning or working.
Auditioning, folks.
All the way through, I would say on Monday through Friday, working through till about 7:30. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I have a big movie campaign, I might work well into the night. Yeah.
So what kind of a studio do you have? Now, I know George probably has a great deal of knowledge about your particular studio.
And I'm going to refer all those questions to No, my studio is basically like 6x7 or something like that. It's not a prefab. It's actual walls and stuff. It's a room within a room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I had a contractor build for me. And take it from there, George.
Well, I mean, it's pretty common to the way most of these studios that I've worked with or built for people is done, where you've got a booth that's isolated. Some people will have more equipment in there than others. In the case of Jim, pretty much everything he has that he needs is in that room, except the Mac tower outside of it, which is sitting out there sounding like a hairdryer because it's an older tower Mac, and the fans are like,
there is something seriously wrong with that thing. It is alive. I don't know what's wrong with that thing.
And it's sitting outside the booth, but everything else is inside a rack with a few pieces of gear. Grace M103 channel strip, a good old Zephyr Telos Zephyr Extreme. What other bells and whistles do we have in there? Well, you're using an Apogee Rosetta 200, I think. That's
correct, yeah.
Analog to digital converter. That is one of those things where I say, don't buy one of these things, people. You're crazy. You don't need one. But he's got one of those.
I got one.
But I mean, it's the
I'm going against the grain, man.
Yeah, it's the absolute best possible, conversion from analog to digital, pretty much, that you can do. And then we also we split the microphones, so they go from the preamp to each destination independently. So it comes out of the preamp and it goes to the Telos. It comes out of the preamp and it goes to the Apogee converter, and it also goes to the mixer. So it goes from mic preamp straight to the destination. Doesn't pass through any extra gear, and that helps take the noise floor down quite a bit. He had an Avalon in there, a tube preamp, and when we added the tube mic, tubes stacked on top of tubes, the noise floor starts creeping up. You start getting noise. Yeah. So we eliminated the extra tube noise from the Avalon 737.
And I only cried like 3 times before George showed up.
There was a few moments there where he was like, George. And once we figured out there was a tube issue with the Manley itself, we had to switch some tubes a few times. See, folks, that's why I don't recommend tubes in general for most mere mortals. But once we got all those things dialed in, it's been sounding really nice.
Yep.
It gets a little toasty in there, right?
Yeah, well, I have air conditioning in there.
Yeah, it's a little warmer in there than the outside, but he has all his gear in there, so that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Do you do any of your own editing?
I do.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I certainly take out all my coughs and my breaths and my guffaws before I send anything. I don't need anybody compiling a reel somewhere going, "Hey, listen to Jim." Yeah. Listen to what he did on this.
My dad is Trumpet Guy 99.
Oh,
and
he's there. Hi, Dad.
He just came on and said, would you talk about the new VO doc / reality program coming soon? Do you know about something about this?
No.
My dad asked as though he knows something that I don't know about.
I don't know about it. Sorry.
Sorry, Dad.
I didn't know what he was talking about either.
There are some docs. There are some stuff. There's some stuff in the works right now.
Okay.
Unseen. There was a short film called Unseen that's already finished.
Right.
Apparently, there's a feature about voiceover that's being made right now.
Uh-huh. I heard of that. Yes.
What's it called? You guys heard of it? I've seen a trailer for it.
I'm not sure.
It's called Inner World.
Right.
This was called Inner World. Yeah.
Oh, right. I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay, yeah, that's it. Inner World. We don't. It's in production. We really don't, unless you've been in it or they shot you. We don't know much about it. So
yeah, I don't know when that's coming out.
I'm sure it'd be pretty cool though.
Yeah. They've been working on it for a while.
They've been shooting that for off and on. Yeah. As with anything that's doc style, it takes a long time to shoot because it's piecemeal. Yeah. Something else that popped up in the chat room I wanted to ask you. Oh, Anthony said, is it a booth or a room? It's kind of in the middle because it's not a tiny little booth, but it's not the entire room either. So it's sort of, it's a nice size. Like if you're going to take a room in a house, is that like a 10 by 10 bedroom or something?
Something like that, 12 by 10.
It's like a small bedroom. Yeah. If you're going to convert a bedroom and isolate everything except the computer, it's a nice way to do it. Yeah. Take a corner of it and wall it off. And in case of Jim's, it's not a square booth. It actually has a flat corner, so it's more of a diamond shape.
Mm-hmm.
And that tends to work really well because it breaks up the reflections. You don't have as many parallel walls in there as you normally would.
Was that Anthony who asked that?
Yeah, Anthony Gettig asked that.
Anthony, let me tell you, man, it was so great to have a bigger room within a room. I got to tell you. Now, George wants me to have just the room be my studio, which I will probably do someday, but it's working for me now. So
it's not for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So, but my one before this though, I was in a very small, like 4 by 4, I guess it was a square, in the house that I was renting, and it was no air conditioning. It was, I seriously had to step out of the booth, like, you know, at least a couple times an hour because it got so hot in there, you know? And, you know, when you start auditioning all day, you know, and like, you're there for hours on end, you're like, man, I got to have some air in here. So as soon as this one was built for me, I was like, you know, I was thanking God for that air, man, because it gets hot in there, sitting in there all day.
Think about it. It's the
Good
most,
question.
not only is it soundproof, and when you make something soundproof, you also make it airproof, or, you know, there's no air circulation of any kind.
Right.
And so it is just a sealed box. And if he had, even if Jim had no gear in there at all, well, no equipment whatsoever, just him in there talking,
it'll heat up in a hurry.
Yeah, your body is converting food into calories. Calories is heat, and you generate about 100 watts of power.
Yeah,
just
more than a
standing.
light bulb, actually.
Yeah.
And
So,
I stand on every read. I don't sit ever.
Yeah.
I'm always standing. So it's, you know, I'm creating more heat that way, I think.
I made the big mistake of I did a studio for Mike McCall last fall.
Yeah.
And I made the big mistake of not designing the air conditioning ventilation system properly. And
how do you feel about that?
I felt like a real heel. I was also mad at the guys I was working with. Why didn't you guys tell me? The HVAC guy, like, why didn't you tell me I need a return? You know, the room didn't have a return, so it was like a paper bag. You know, you blow the air in, but eventually the bag is full, and it didn't cool. You know, and he was like, "This is not happening. This is not working, you guys." And I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Just open the door once in a while." And he's like, and because when we first built it, he was like, "Well, I'm not going to be in there all the time."
Mm-hmm.
But you are in there all the time.
Right. Yeah,
you're like, you're auditioning all day. You're working. You're like, you get a breath to eat and pet the kids on the head and go to school.
And that's exactly, welcome to my life there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you book a vacation, you know, that's when all the calls come in, you know, it's like, you can't go anywhere.
Totally.
You know? Did you ever hear the one about Ernie Anderson when he was on a cruise ship?
No.
Yeah.
Love Boat?
Yeah. You know, he's the voice of ABC, right?
Yeah.
Love Boat. Yes. The Love Boat. Yeah. He was on I guess he wanted to go on a vacation, right? This is the story I was told. So he decides he's going to book a cruise, and they're like, "Oh, no, you can't, you know, because you got." And this was before ISDN and all that, right? So he's like, "I'm going to do it." So somehow they were able to get him on this ship, and he was able to record on this ship, and they were able to bounce it over to ABC so he could read all the promos while he was on this cruise ship for a week. Because, you know, as you know, Ernie Anderson was like, you know, the voice for a long time for promo, and
it was all done real time.
Yes,
in that time,
exactly. So he was like, you know what, screw it, I need a vacation. You know, I'm leaving on a cruise, and they brought their equipment on the ship, and they were like, you're not going anywhere because we need you to read these promos. So I thought that was a pretty cool story.
You know, you've been in this for a while, or you know, you're probably the guy. When you can have that kind of leverage over basically the industry.
Right.
Those days are long gone. Those days
are long gone because, you know, I said, I'm going on a cruise. See you later. We'll get someone else.
Well, I always say like that ISDN didn't become, others had tried it, but ISDN didn't become the thing until Don did it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Would you say it's probably true?
That's probably true. Yeah.
It took someone at his stature of just, you know, someone at his level in the business of respect to make that step.
Exactly. You know, when I was in post-production, when I was working as a producer, it was hard to get him because he was working so much. And it was literally like, you know, he would go to Buzzies and like patch into everybody, you know? So it was almost like you'd have to say, "Well, we'll pay him more money because we need Don," you know. And it got to the point where it was like, you know, you'd have to cobble his voice together because, you know, we can't get Don for another 3 hours, but it's got to ship in 1 hour, you know. So it was an interesting time, and he was, you know, a true professional, you know, through the very end, man. I mean, the guy. I cannot say enough good things about him, man. He was the man, and in my heart, he still is.
Me too.
Yeah, let's change gears here just a little bit,
Sure.
Before we wrap up. Now, you're working out of your home, like most of us are, and you apparently have a sizable family.
Sizable?
A couple of kids.
A couple of kids. Okay, all right.
Yes.
So, how do you work that?
How do I work that? Well,
or how do you work around it?
Well, I have a great wife. That helps.
That helps.
She's very helpful. Yes, she does pretty much everything.
She is super wife.
Because Daddy is making the bacon. You know
She's
what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah, she is awesome. Yeah, you know, I spend as much time with my kids as I can, obviously, and it's great to be able to work from home, so I can, like you said, pop out and, you know, give them a hug and scratch them on the head, and you know,
read a book.
Yeah, you know, if I have a you know an hour break, then you know, go do a cannonball in the pool with them, you know, and come back out. And it's funny about talking about vacations. It's like, you know, when I jump in the pool, there's the phone, you know. You gotta get back in there, you know. So that's one of those things. It's like, if I want work, jump in the pool, you know.
Exactly. It's feeling a little slow lately. Splash. We need to get you a holophone or whatever those things are, the underwater microphone.
Oh yeah, they have those. I didn't know that.
The first underwater sound booth was constructed for Jim Tasker in 2043.
In a world.
I think that's the rule in voiceover. You want work, go out for lunch. There'll
right.
always be an email waiting for you when you get there.
Right.
That's it. Hydrophone. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about the equipment that you use. Now, you said you're using 3 different mics and that sort of stuff. What are you using? You're using a 416 and a...
Yep. A 416, a Manley, and a U87. Like I said, I use the 416 mainly, and not necessarily because I think my voice sounds better on it, but engineers say use the 416. You know, honestly, I really like the sound of the Manley, but I also think that the Manley sounds great on like a very when I do something that's very sweeping and moving, sort of
when you're doing darker,
narration, you know.
more emotional.
Yeah, exactly.
Really...
For some reason, it just picks up something.
more.
I'm not sure what it is, but as far as promos are concerned, yeah, you know, because that's the bulk of my work. It's the Sennheiser 416.
It's just I think it's once they get a tool that works,
right?
It's just something they can trust.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, and once they've found that thing, and Ernie Anderson has a lot to do with that microphone actually becoming what it is.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to be in a booth. He wanted to be in the control room with all the hustle and bustle.
Mm-hmm.
So they needed a mic that they could work with him on, and that was what it was. At the time, it was a 415, I think. But that's how that mic became what it is.
Yeah.
But it's for very specific use, though. It's, you know, for doing your average character spots or industrial reads. It's not really the best mic to be using for that.
I wouldn't say it's probably the best mic for animation or, you know, and there's some stuff. But we did an interesting thing with Jim's studio is, you know, we have one channel of one preamp. And one way to avoid the extra cost of having two and the complexity and everything else is we put it as a foot switch that switches between the two mics. It's just one switch, chakunk A, chakunk B. It's just an A-B switch. And, you know, if you rig it up right, like we did in Jim's, even both mics are already rigged up in one place. He doesn't have to, he can literally at the click of a switch, switch between the two mics without dropping a script or anything.
And I have a funny thing to add to that. I hadn't realized, you know, because when I wanted a cough button, I would click the switch and just cough, you know.
That's true. We don't have a cough button.
But I didn't realize that it was hooked up one time. So I hit the switch and I started coughing, and they're like, "Are you okay?"
At least that's all you were doing.
I'm sorry. I had to cough. I didn't realize this thing was still on. Is this on? Yeah.
So you've been unplugging one of them, right? Like when you're not working,
exactly.
you unplug one and then it becomes a cough switch.
That's right. Exactly.
Brilliant.
Yep. Well, you told me, so that's what I did. I can't think on my own. I have George here for that, you know.
Yeah, some interesting questions about, you know, does it switch 48 volt band to power? It's a switch. Switch is switch.
Man,
I mean, is it real sophisticated or what?
If you want to get a little more nuts and bolts about it, you have to watch out for that. You can't just switch two mics. We got in there was a little bit of a Facebook thing going on about I unplugged my mic while it was Phantom Powers turned on. Did I kill my mic? Some mics yes, some mics no. But the problem is that it creates this loud pop.
Yes.
Really loud pop.
Yes, I've had that in my headphones before.
Totally, yeah. So if it's rigged up correctly, you actually have a foot switch and a Phantom Power device as well in tandem. So the output of the switch goes into the Phantom Power and then into the the mics go into the Phantom Power, out of the Phantom Power, through the switch, and then into the strip, and then you avoid the problem with popping the...
Yeah, see we've lost Dan. We've lost Dan.
He loves to do this, too. Pay attention, Dan.
He's like,
you might need to
not-
do this someday.
Not anything I haven't heard before.
You might want
right?
to have that ribbon mic, always on, always at the ready,
Hey, you know what? I was hoping that this was the drinking show you guys talked about, because, but apparently not.
This is
Because
actually the opposite
I don't even
drinking.
have water here.
I know.
Apparently, your wife didn't get the text because
to get the water. I'm so thirsty.
I was
right
hoping
now.
that this was. Oh, look at him go! See,
Yeah, we're going. And we're like at 7:15. We've been talking for 3 hours. Are we on the East
You're
Coast or the West
incorrigible,
Coast?
Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
I think we should
we need water, honey.
Now.
Anyway, maybe we should take a break so we can get some
All
water.
right, well, we were just getting there, actually.
Right.
All right, we've got a lot more to cover here at East West Audio Body Shop. Jim, thanks for dropping by with us tonight. And
My
of course,
pleasure.
Stick around, and thanks for sharing your life with us, so we know a little bit more about when we're watching football. It's like, I just know who that guy is.
I know that voice.
We know that voice. That's the great thing about That's the great thing about this show. It's a great thing about our business is everybody's just regular folk, and that's
right.
That's what I like to see.
Yeah, me
anyway,
too.
we'll be right back. We've got we've got the letter of the week. We've got some more news about other stuff.
Bless
so you better stay where you are. We'll be right back here on East West Audio Body Shop.
Hey, my name is Bob Ball. I'm a voice actor and host of Pop Quizzical. Sure. I hear you thinking, Bob, what is this Pop Quizzical you speak of? Well, I'll tell you. It's a fun and funny, single-themed 10 to 15-minute audio quiz. It comes out every other week right here on the internets. You know, that thing that just about everything cool flows from. Pictures of cats, videos of dogs, and yes, Pop Quizzical. It's available and wherever fine podcasts are sold. And it's easily found, too. Go to bit.ly/popquizzical. There's also a companion website at popquizzical.com with daily quiz questions, and every Friday over on the Pop Quizzical Facebook page, it's a Freebie Friday. Free stuff throughout the day. From The Muppet Show to James Bond to St. Patrick's Day, the Pop Quizzical podcast has a little bit of everything for you. Challenge your mind and your funny bone with Pop Quizzical.
Class dismissed.
This is East West Audio Body Shop with Dan Leonard in the East and George Whittam in the West. Now back to Dan and George.
That's right.
We're live.
Oh, hey.
We're back. back.
No, we were just talking about. Jim was just talking about the porta booth.
Yeah. I use the porta booth in Las Vegas. My manager had a party for these clients in Las Vegas, and I was like, oh great, this is perfect because it's during the NCAA tournament, and so I was very nervous to be leaving, my own studio. So I was like, George, what do you got for me there? Because I'm gonna be in a hotel room, and I think it's gonna be a little bit noisy, perhaps. People around, might be really noisy. So,
yeah.
And I know I'm gonna have work this weekend, so and so he got me the porta booth, and it worked great. The stuff that you hear in the Final Four to the championship was all done from a hotel room in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
With the 416.
416, yeah.
And then what else is in that kit? Yeah, the 416. Is it the Apogee one that I got you set up, or the MicPort Pro? I can't remember right now.
MicPort Pro.
MicPort Pro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And a 416 and the Howard Hogan porta booth.
That's
what
right.
a perfect segue.
Yeah.
Because it's that time of our show when we got to tell you about Voice Over Essentials, where you can get a Porta Booth Pro or a Porta Booth Plus, which is a great little device. Works great with the 416, and it works great with the Apogee mic, which I love using. It works great with the Harlan Hogan VO1A. It works great with any mic because it's supposed to work that way. And that's the way Harlan designed it, and we know it works. There's technique to it and all that kind of stuff, but it's well worth it if you're obsessed with doing stuff on the road, or you're Jim Tasker and you have to do it on the road.
Jim, we need you now.
No, then that's the thing to have. And you can get them over at VoiceOver Essentials. This is the price on the Plus is great. What is it, $150 for that now?
Did he raise it yet? I think it's still $150. And there's the lovely Terry with the there she is.
She's the one that personally delivers it to your door too. So
hey, she didn't do that for me.
That wouldn't be so bad, actually, would it? Yeah. We would love it if she brought it to my door.
Can I send mine back and have her return it?
Exactly. Yeah, this is the new Portabooth Plus, which is a little bit more compact. It's more conventional, like rectangle shaped booth, and it's a great product also. I mean, the Portabooth Pro is larger, so it has a little more room to work in. You can put copy in there, and it's just two different ways of doing it. And this new Plus sounds surprisingly good. I mean, I think it stacks up with the Pro, and in some cases, I think it sounds even better.
Yeah, I find you can just put your iPad right on top of it.
Oh, yeah, and then you just prop it on top.
Yeah, it works fabulous in there. So so that way you're not even talking into it, or it sounds just great all the way around. So
that's what the pros use.
That's why it's called a Pro Plus. So it's only for the Plus Pros, which apparently you qualify for.
There's the standard Pro right there. And if you notice, there's on the back of it, there's a little strap. That's the ABS.
ES bootstrap.
Yeah. What does he call it? The boom strap.
Boom strap. Yeah.
Adjustable boom strap. So if you're hanging a boom, heavy mic, or the Portabooth Pro is hanging off your boom, the boom strap will keep it from sagging and falling down, like the way my mic was doing all throughout the show today. And
you're not using your boom strap?
I'm using a more conventional, studio type sprung arm.
A banana?
Banana. Yeah, like we did for the
that's what he's wearing below. What you can't see. That's out of frame.
No, I saw some of that at the beach today. Yes, thank you very much. So so it's a great product. We really appreciate Harlan's support of the show. He was our first and only sponsor, and now we've been joined by Bob Ball, and
we'll be joining us next week.
Yeah, Bob's going to be on next week.
Bob's going to be our guest next week. We'll learn about Pop Quizzical, and we'll learn about his voiceover career, and we can make fun of him.
Bob, make sure that you have water.
Yeah, we'll have water for Bob.
Yes, really.
I think he'll be coming in from Skype, so he's a smart guy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he can get his own water.
No, actually, I was happy to be here. This was good.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not done yet.
Honestly, I like human interaction. Skype is great. When you have to do it. But I'm like 1.8 miles, like I said.
1.8 miles. You got
so
no excuses.
it's good to be here.
Yeah,
it really is.
It was fun having you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, let's move on to some other things. First off, we got to talk about our correspondence contest. We haven't gotten any videos from anybody yet, have we?
No,
I guess you're just still planning them out.
Yeah, I don't think we made it enticing enough.
Okay.
I'm really hoping that some stuff comes in from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm hoping we get some Comic-Con stuff. Somebody out there has to have gone to Comic-Con. Please. I hope somebody did.
Here's what we're looking for. We want to find a couple of correspondents. You guys are probably getting tired of just watching us all the time. And then again, maybe not. But we want to break it up just a little bit. And if any of you would like to be on the show, perhaps have, an occasional, cameo appearance or do some production for us, it would be greatly appreciated. We want you to audition, but not only for us, but for everyone. So you can take your iPhone and go through the supermarket, and you can do a report for us too, or whatever you find that would be of interest, a voiceover, or that you think people would be interested in, and presented here on East West Audio Body Shop. And the best one, well, we'll get some swag for sure, but we'll start using some stuff more regularly. So let's see how good you are at video, because if you can do voice, you should be able to do video too.
That's right. Well, I mean, it's easier than ever now to produce video that has quality.
Oh yeah,
and as most of you guys are, know, the audio is, I think, more important than the video. I mean, you can see we really do put most of the effort in the show into the audio side of the thing, because it is a show about voiceover. But if you have listen. That whole thing I shot at the voiceover convention a couple weeks ago, Voice 2012, Jim was there. That was shot with an iPod, a $200 iPod Touch.
It's true. I was there. I can vouch for it. I commented on it.
And in fact, when you see Dan holding a handheld wireless microphone and you're thinking, well, that's where all the money was. And yeah, that's true. I mean,
it didn't work.
It wasn't working. That was totally a prop. I was like, Dan, just do that. It looks good. That was the mic in the iPod. I mean, that is amazing. That really is an amazing little gadget. And so, grab yourself your iPhone, your iPod, your Android phone. I got the new Galaxy S3 or whatever this thing is, which is
your
amazing.
video camera,
or an actual video camera.
You like that? Because I just got one actually.
Oh, you got the S3 too?
Yeah, I haven't turned it on yet.
Oh, it's awesome.
I got it yesterday.
It's beautiful. 1080p, beautiful picture, and the sound is actually good on it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just shoot us some fun video and just cut it up and send it in. See what happens. Everybody's gonna get a kick out of it. You're among friends. It's a safe place.
That's right. That's right. We'll just splatter it out on the internet so everybody can see it.
Exactly. We'd love to have it.
We would. So send them in. We don't care. Well, we want it to be about voiceover in your home studio and maybe something you want to offer. We'll just sort of keep it within that parameter and see what happens. So now it's time for, do we have our letter of the week?
Our letter of the week.
L. The letter is L.
I do have a letter here. Well, this one's kind of all right. This is the.
It's another.
Do you have another one? Maybe you don't want to read that one.
All right,
another Bill O'Reilly letter here.
No, this is a good one. Shelley Baldiga. I hope I'm saying that right. Shelley Baldiga.
Find out.
She says, Dan and I chatted with you a couple of times at Voice 2012, and Dan, I chatted. See. Who's the voiceover? Why am I the one reading this? I'm the one person who's not qualified to be reading this. Okay. Dan,
if you can't, you must.
Dan.
You want me to read it? I want more swag.
Yeah, have Jim read it.
Here, I'll blow it up for you real big. Can you read that? No, that's too big.
No.
Anyway, Dan, I chatted with you a couple of times at Voice 2012 since you were appropriately positioned next to the Apogee guys. What a quinky dink. That was cool.
It was.
You answered a few of my questions about using their mic with the iPad and Twisted Wave. Well, I've ordered one of those mics for VO on the go, and I'm ready to pull the trigger for an iPad too. But I can't seem to find anyone to tell me, this is such a simple question, whether the setup works best with a 16, a 32, or a 64 gigabyte iPad. Based on your experience, does it matter? Would I run out of space quickly with the lower iPad? What should I do? And even the Apogee and Twisted Wave guys just say, I don't know.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Bang the mic again. Well, here's the answer to that. It's actually pretty simple. All the stuff on the iPad, when it comes to memory and stuff like that, most of that memory, if you get like the 64 gigabyte one or the 32, that's to store movies and your MP3, so you can have like a monster collection on your iPad, because it's supposed to be like an iPod or your iPhone, because it does all the same stuff. It's just bigger. Most of the memory stuff that you're going to require for doing voice work, because you record in waves, it's not going to take up 64 megabytes unless you're doing the entire Old Testament or something.
Yeah, or gigabytes.
Or gigabytes, yes. Thank you. And most of the stuff you're going to be sending, you'll be able to record fine. You'll have plenty of room to record anything fairly lengthy on the iPad. But the memory will all be cloud-based. It all is cloud-based now. Using Twisted Wave on your iPad, it just goes, you can send it to an FTP, you can email it somewhere, you can send it to Dropbox or Box, any one of those places. And that's really where the memory, that's where this suddenly becomes, a 300 gigabyte drive, because it's all on the cloud. And that's the answer to the question. So don't worry about having, this is a 16. I did an entire book on this
thing. What's that picture on there? What did you hit?
Did the keyboard come up?
That's my keyboard. Yeah,
I was trying to scare you. Get off of there.
Are you one of those people that goes out at the beach and takes pictures of the family playing in the surf with your iPad? I see that occasionally. It's pretty funny.
I see that too.
It's got a pretty good camera on it. No, it's
if you want to play Angry Birds, it's good for Angry Birds.
there you go. It's
I did not know that.
Yeah, you're not storing and archiving your projects on there. You're recording them and sending them off, and probably 90% of what you're recording on that thing is audition anyway, which means the second you send it off, you never need to see it again. So don't worry about having the most storage. If you're like a super road warrior and you fly all the time and you've got kids and you want to have like 25 different videos in high def, then yeah, you need the bigger one. But you really don't. Get the small one. Save some dough.
Absolutely.
Dan,
good answer. Good
you're messing with me.
I am.
Especially since you're the one on camera and I'm the one
camera,
talking.
and you're the one blabbering away.
Blah, blah, blah. At least they can hear me this time. I've actually blabbed for 5 minutes straight with no audio on. Just a single shot of me talking, and everybody's trying to get my attention, but I'm like, eye on the camera and in the zone,
Yeah, you know what? I actually saw that.
My mic down.
You saw that?
I saw that.
Saw that one.
I
Great.
thought something was wrong with my equipment. I'm like going, what's going on? I can't hear him.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
My phone finally started ringing. It was my dad.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
That was the show with June Foray, so lots of people saw that.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a better show to have a major flub like that.
Yeah.
Well, like we say every week here is like Apollo 13.
Yeah.
So
we love you guys.
Yes.
Well,
it has reached the 10:30 hour here in the East, which makes it about 7:30
dinner time.
Dinner time. It's dinner time
I can smell
at
the
the
basil.
Whittam household.
Yeah.
And Amy will come in any moment now, give Jim and George another dirty look, and say, I think it's time for you guys to break this up. So
we love
anyway,
you, Amy.
yes, we do.
Yes, we
We
do.
love our wives for letting us do what we do.
That's right.
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. And I love my wife for giving up her office because I'll see daylight. I'll
That's
hear
huge.
birds.
I have one thing to say to you, Dan.
Yes,
Stay in the basement. Stay in the basement. Just stay in the basement, man.
I will take that under advisement. I have my trepidations about it, because it's like, this is the fortress of solitude down here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your man cave.
It definitely is, but it's. I'd like to. I need more vitamin D. I think is what it is.
All right,
So and the thing is,
I can't fault you for that.
Yeah, no, but if I'm in the basement, the kitchen is right above me, and if someone's wearing clogs, upstairs, my wife can talk loud on the phone. There can be wearing clogs. No, I'm not going to hear it.
Yeah.
Might actually save me a lot, and I don't hear the air conditioning.
I will say that was one of the things that I wanted in my home booth was a window.
Yeah.
Outside of a window, like I have a window and then a window, so I could actually see outside, see the sun, and exactly. Because I above anything, I hate feeling like I'm confined for so long if I can't see the outside world. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's important.
Yeah.
Don't
being
overlook
down.
that.
Yeah, being down here 18 hours a day is starting to just drive me a little bit crazy.
You're getting a nice studio tan there, Dan.
Yeah, I know. Well, I have the light up there. Anyway, well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. God, you guys stick around and listen to us blather on and
Dan, what are you doing down there?
She never does that. She knows it's important. She doesn't bother me. Amy?
They've been married a lot longer than we have.
Yeah, we're going on 18 years this November.
They got 15 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations.
We know how it works. We've come to a little bit of an agreement on how this should work.
Good.
Anyway, Jim, thanks for being with us tonight.
Yes, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
It's been a pleasure having you.
It's been fun.
And thanks all of you guys for joining us again in the chat room and lending your questions and all your insults and all the other things you throw at us. We love it. We love you guys. We thank you so much for being a part of our show every week. And we'll see you next week. Our guest will be Bob Ball, and we'll have more stuff. We want your letters. We want your videos. And we want to have fun, because if it ain't fun, why do it, right?
Yes, help us have fun on the show, everybody. Please.
Can we go to dinner now?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right. All right. Well, in that case, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. Ah, I gotcha.
Jim distracted me.
Take two.
All right. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday night.
Take care,
Take care.
everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.